Hi, today we will talk about fame versus wealth. What is the correlation between these two? So let's start with an anecdote. 2 years ago, I was visiting the wealthiest person in Turkey, in Istanbul. His name is Özcan. Now he owns probably more, but at that time he owned 82 companies in financial sector, in transportation, in commerce, around the world in many countries. And he's also one of the most important philanthropists in Turkey, and also the founder of Özcan University in Istanbul with 6,000 students. So, and on the way to his office, I talked to a taxi driver. I asked just the taxi driver who he thinks is the wealthiest person in Istanbul. Özcan, of course, as the wealthiest person in Turkey, he is also the wealthiest in Istanbul, right? But I didn't tell that to the taxi driver. I just asked him who he thinks is the richest person in Istanbul. And he was coming up with names of football players, of soccer players, which surprised me and somehow amazed me. Because this is who he thought are the really rich people. And why is it like that? Most people are exposed for hours every day to the TV, and they think the people they see on the TV, the famous people, right? So the TV celebrities, the actors, and of course the sportsmen, these are the people who are really, really rich. Of course, these people probably earn much more than the average person watching TV, but they are not the richest people, and they are by far not as wealthy as billionaires are. And most people just don't realize that these people, these celebrities, are just employees of somebody else, of really rich people, to whom, for example, TV networks belong, or the movie production companies, or the sports clubs, right? And why is it like that? This is due to the mere exposure principle. It means we build our worldview depending on the things we are exposed to. So if we watch TV all the time, we build our worldview depending like on that information, on that world we are exposed to. When we think about, for example, in this case, about rich people, the first people we think about are the people we are exposed to on the TV, so the celebrities. But in reality, famous people are really, really wealthy. And on the other hand, wealthy people are rarely famous. There are exceptions. Of course, there are exceptions, but let's say billionaires. The wealthiest people in the world are billionaires, right? So which billionaires does an average person know? An average person knows Bill Gates, the richest person in the world. He knows probably Donald Trump because he is US president. And maybe he knows Mark Zuckerberg because he uses Facebook, and he knows Mark Zuckerberg is the founder of Facebook, right? But that's it. So, and a little bit more sophisticated people who are more into wealth, into maybe finances, they may know Warren Buffett. They may know maybe Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, and maybe they know Elon Musk, right? But that's about it. So an average person doesn't know more than maybe 5 billionaires, 5 really wealthy people. And for example, people like Amancio Ortega or the Koch family, who are in the top 10, like the wealthiest family in the world on the Forbes list, most people just don't know who they are. So people see all the sportsmen and the huge transfer fees paid for them, and maybe also the impressive contracts they sign, and they think these sportsmen must become really, really wealthy. But in reality, these people, they don't know how to manage their money, and they certainly don't know how to multiply their money, and they don't know how to do business. So they rarely succeed in multiplying their wealth or keeping their wealth. So in effect, there is actually just one billionaire among all the millions of sportsmen in the hundreds of disciplines. You know who he is? It is Michael Jordan. He was also the most successful basketball player of all times. But most people don't realize who, for example, is the wealthiest person in pharma industry. Of course, he is a billionaire. There are many billionaires in pharma industry, but the wealthiest man is actually an Indian guy called Dilip Shanghvi, the CEO, the founder and CEO of Sun Pharma. And I visited him in Mumbai 1 or 2 years ago. And this guy is completely unknown to the world, but he is the most successful businessman in the pharma industry and the wealthiest person in that industry. So the one reason for that is the mere exposure effect, or it is called familiarity principle. So we just, reason from the facts we are exposed to, right? But the other thing is that the really wealthy people, they don't like to be famous. They just want to have their peace of mind. And they are really only just these maybe 3, 4, maybe 5 people who are both famous and wealthy, but they really don't want to be famous. And the famous people, most of the famous people, they usually work for the wealthy people. Some of them, they may be moderately wealthy, they may be millionaires. Certainly, they are millionaires in today's dollars, but they are not the really wealthy people. Why I'm talking to you about that? Because you should really make the distinction, and also realize or define what it means for you to be successful. Does it mean to be famous, or does it mean maybe to be wealthy, or something else? You need to realize that, because this is what you are aiming for, and what you are aiming for is what you are becoming. And when you're aiming to become famous, it may hinder your goals in becoming wealthy, and vice versa. If you find it valuable, subscribe here below and hit the ring button in order not to miss my videos, and share it with your friends and your loved ones. I remind you of the ongoing competition. Please comment on that topic, about your experiences, about your thoughts, and also share this video. For the best comment and the best share, I will give away 1 copy of my book I have written with Brian Tracy. And here you will find some of my best videos. Thank you, and see you in my next video.